Oh, he's got one. That's awesome. So here we are at the Med for All rally. Here's everybody out here. We're on the corner of Ala Moana and Atkinson. Right back there is the beach. There's the Ala Moana Shopping Center. There's all of, you can see all back there. That's all like Waikiki. What's up? The Jimmy Dore fan. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Aloha, right on. Right on. How's everybody doing? Right on. Hello. Nice Bernie hat. How you doing? So, my name is Graham Elwood, and I've got this show, The Political Vigilante. You want to be on? Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
So, what made you come out here today?
I've always supported Bernie Sanders and his policies, and Medicare for All especially. That's one of the major issues that's important to me because, right now I'm kind of going from job to job sometimes, and so it's very hard to maintain a reliable health care. Right now I'm under Medicaid and law care, so it works out fine, but a lot of times I'm worried that I might lose it suddenly, and so it's one of those, and I'm this is coming from someone who's in a upper middle class family, so I have nothing really to worry about, but I know there's people like me who are really desperate and who are struggling to survive, so this is an important issue for me, and I wish there's a little bit more enthusiasm, a little bit more outcry about this. Are kind of fighting for the infrastructure bill. So it's like, where is that in Medicare for All? Like, that should be the top of the list.
Right.
So hopefully they'll do something. But
yeah, and so for the audience watching that's not in Hawaii, explain like what Aloha Care is, because some states don't even have stuff like this.
So it's like a branch of the public health care system that's offered here, but I mean it's only for those who are very low wage, low salary people, and so a lot of times check in each year, what kind of job you have, how much money you're making. So it's not, unfortunately, it's not for everyone. It's only for those who really need it.
Right.
Thing, so.
But yeah, which is great that they're helping people that need it. But then there's sort of this like you're lost if you're not really rich and you're not out of work. Then what do you do?
Oh yeah, like if I make like a little bit more, I'm sure I won't be eligible already. And the only reason I think I'm eligible is because I used to be under my parents' plan, and so then I can't use that, but I use their plan, which is a little bit better. But then once I'm alone, then I guess I'm eligible. But if I try to get a higher paying job, I probably won't be able to do it. So.
Right. So like it disincentive. I mean, like if you're going to get a higher paying job, you have to get one that includes healthcare.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you can't get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it keeps you.
Yeah, you're in a bind, basically. Yeah. And what's also frustrating too is like when I go to a dentist, for example, they say, "Oh, now that you're under this plan, I can't even see my own dentist anymore. So now I have to see another one."
And go out of pocket.
Yeah. Or sometimes a little care they offer, but it's a whole different dentist. So I can't go to my original dentist because it's not under local care because they don't offer public health care. So they all roll privatized. So it's like, well, okay, that doesn't help me.
We're out here talking about the Medicare for all. There's Dennis, one of the organizers. Well, cool, man. Thank you. Thank you for telling me your story, brother. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, my name's Graham, Political Vigilante, and I just wanted to ask, what's your name and what brought you out here?
Yeah, my name is Nathan. I am a strong believer in Medicare for All. Right now, I have a good paying job and insurance, but the premium's kind of high, and so is the deductible. So
you have...
At least that's what the indicator doesn't say.
All right, we're back.
Hey.
So one of the things you were saying was you were in San Diego and you had to get an ambulance ride, and it cost you $2,000.
Yeah, not covered by my insurance. And I already paid, and then I was paying higher premiums than I was paying now. And like I said, it's just a ripoff. Like, if we could all throw in together and create a robust healthcare system, it'd be much more cost effective for me and everybody else, including the government.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing, I mean, honestly, when the signal went down, an ambulance went by, and you said something very profound. You said, every time I see someone in an ambulance, I think, oh, that person's going to go
Yeah, it's
broke.
gonna break their kitty, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing to think about.
It-
You know, some people, they get into medical debt, they can never get out. And there's people that need life-saving medication. Oh, like just the other day, I had to pay prescription drugs. It came out to like $60 with the insurance.
With the insurance.
With the insurance.
That's the thing that's so crazy about our insurance plan is I remember talking to somebody from when I was married. My wife was from Brazil, where they have free healthcare, and Brazil's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but she said, you guys have to pay 3 times.
Yeah.
You pay a monthly premium,
Yeah.
then you pay the copay when you go in,
Yep.
or the deductible, and then you pay for the stuff they don't cover.
Right. Exactly.
It's insane.
Exactly. Yes, it's a ripoff.
And I think what bothers me the most too is it's just like, oh, the U.S. Senate the democratically controlled Senate just approved another $25 billion for the war budget.
Yeah.
And we don't have money for Medicare for all of it.
No, it's nonsense. Of course we do.
Yeah.
The government literally prints money and they decide how much is going to go into circulation. They're just making excuses because they don't want to piss off their donors.
Yeah. Right. And the healthcare industry, the insurance companies, they donate to both parties, and that's what blocks it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, maybe it's a good idea to also think about campaign finance reform.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would do it, because then they would have to actually listen to the voters.
Yep.
And not the billionaires.
Yep. But here's a couple things we could do right now while we're waiting for Congress to get its act together. Form unions, especially essential workers. They need to unionize and demand that their employers provide decent health care among like a livable wage. So the best thing we can do right now besides this is unionizing.
No, you're absolutely correct, because we all saw it during the pandemic. All these corporations made record profits, and these essential workers didn't even get hazard pay.
No.
And I'm sorry, if the CEOs and all of them can be making all this money, then there's money for unions and health insurance. I mean, Jeff Bezos just spent $5 billion flying around the earth for 4 minutes, and his Amazon employees don't even have health care.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's a good call, man. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll I like the union.
All right,
Tell us
yeah.
your name again?
Nathan.
Nathan, thank you so much, man. Is it okay if I interview you?
Yeah, of course.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good, how are you?
My name's Graham. What's your name?
Pranav.
Pranal. So what brought you out here today?
Well, I just see how crazy and unfair our health insurance and healthcare system is in this country, and it just pisses me off. I actually have pretty good insurance, pretty good coverage, fortunately, but I'm still paying quite a bit for some procedures and stuff. So I can only imagine what people who don't have that, what they have to deal with. You think about how expensive all you're talking to the other person about premiums, deductibles, out of pocket, all that. Where does all that money go? That money goes to the salaries of CEOs, CFOs. The CEO of Kaiser, last I checked, a few years ago, made something like $17-18 million. If he were to make, a fifth, 25% of that, he'd still make $3-4 million. You can reallocate that $15 million or $10 million to provide, free care or reduced cost care to a lot of people. So I think the entire system is rigged, and ultimately the for-profit motive just has to be taken out of health insurance, at least.
Yeah, because it's like, imagine if the fire department was run for profit.
Yeah. Or the police department.
Or the police department.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, your house is on fire, but you don't have firefighter insurance.
Yeah, too bad.
Sorry, or you got to pay 10 grand for us to put your fire out and save you and your kids.
Exactly. I think everybody, whatever their socioeconomic status, their background, should have an equal right to healthcare. No matter how much you make, how much you earn, doesn't matter. I just want to add one thing. I think you're talking with the other person about why is it so hard to get Medicare for all when, if you look at some polls, over something like 70% of Democrats support it, and I think 49-50% of Republicans support it. I think people, they know this intuitively, even somewhat explicitly, but I don't think they realize the full brunt of the fact that every politician in DC, no matter what they say, is an enemy of the working person. And I hate to say it, even the squad who we thought were gonna help us out, fight for us, for whatever reason, maybe it's for career, maybe it's for cowardice, we don't know exactly. Maybe we do know, but the point is they're not fighting for us. There is nobody fighting for everyday people, even though they say they are. No one wants to be an enemy in DC. No one wants to, really rock the boat, because that's hard. But you need to ask. I just want people to ask themselves, why is it so hard to get what we want? It's because the people whom you elected, they don't represent you, despite what they say they're going to do. So turn your ire there.
Yeah, for sure. The two-party system. It's why there needs to be like a real third party
Yeah.
Or I would even so call a second party, because the two parties are basically the one.
Yeah, one alternative I'll just add is Movement for People's Party. I'm a little bit of volunteer. I'm sure you know about them at Jimmy Dore and whatnot. So if anybody's interested in a new third party, check out MPP, Movement for People's Party. You might find it interesting.
It's a great thing, and what you just brought up was something excellent. Paula Jean just came out on the Jimmy Dore show to say she's leaving the Democratic Party, and that's what it's going to take. You cannot reform.
No.
Reforming either one of those parties from within, it's like joining a drug cartel and trying to get them to go straight.
Exactly. Real change is always started on the outside. It ends on the inside, starts on the outside. Read a People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn if you want to, see that throughout U.S. history.
Right on, dude. Great points. Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming out here, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, are you? Can I interview you? Yeah, sure. Cool. So hey, we're out here at the Medicare for All rally here in Honolulu. What's your name?
Lawson Adams.
Walton. So what brought you out here today?
Anywhere between 26 and 45,000 people die a year because of lack of basic health care. And on every single list that ranks our country with other countries, our healthcare system objectively ranks last on almost every single list. And that's ridiculous. We need to change that.
Have you had any personal, or your family had any personal experiences with our broken healthcare system?
No, I'm on military healthcare, so thankfully, if I have a medical emergency, I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to go bankrupt. But I know that's not the case for a lot of people. I know a lot of people will have to choose between, saving their child and going bankrupt. A lot of people ration their medicine, and that's not okay. None of us should be okay with that.
Are you active duty in the military?
Yes, I am.
Oh wow, man. So like it tells you it's all walks of life. I mean, here's somebody who's in the military getting great health care, which, by the way, it's socialism. You're getting socialized health care. And that's why it can't, the people, it's impressive to see that it's obviously people who have lost family members or whatever because of our healthcare system, but it's going to take other people who have decent health care to see, because it's not, all you got to do is lose your military health care, and then we all see how close we are, even if we have good insurance, of how close we are to being bankrupt. Or as you said, one of the 25 to 40 some thousand people that die.
Yep.
So what do you see are, obviously coming out here is good, but what do you see as some of the other solutions people can, or actions people can take?
It's kind of like the same approach that we took when George Floyd died. Everybody got on social media, solidarity, posting about it, spread the word, support Medicare for all. Come out here, support marches like this, protests. That's all you can really do. Donate to candidates like Nina Turner, Shahid for San Francisco. Get involved.
Yeah, and I think, Drew, it's like why it's good that we're all doing this and all these, because I think it's going to start passing like marijuana on a state by state level. I think like they're getting a lot of headway in Washington State.
So what I'm worried about, if it starts passing state by state, I think it might have been Vermont, Bernie's state. They passed it at a state level, and eventually they had to get rid of it because the problem is that since it's state funded, it ends up being critically underfunded rather than if it's passed at a federal level and Congress can allocate enough money for it, then it doesn't run that risk. And if it passes at a state level and it gets underfunded and starts having trouble, people can't get treated because there's not enough money, well then there's talking points for people to say that, well, it failed.
That's a great point. That's a really great point. I mean, state by state can help do it, but you're right, we need the federal money, and they're just keep printing trillions of dollars in stimulus, and in any of these stimulus bills or infrastructure bills could be Medicare for all money.
Right.
And that's when they say, how are we going to afford it? The way we just afforded all this stimulus money.
Yep, the way we afford the increase in the military budget every year.
Yeah.
We allocate the money.
The democratically controlled Senate just gave another $25 billion to Biden's military budget.
Right.
Insane.
Yep, it's crazy.
Well, dude, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out here.
Much.
Thank you for being in the military and speaking up.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother. Here we go, my friend. So tell everybody your name and what brought you out here.
My name is Eli, and I was brought out here by the fact that we're the richest country on earth, yet we have the largest military budget combined as the top 5 other countries.
Actually 10.
10.
Might be more now that the Senate just gave another
Yeah.
25 billion.
Yeah, and despite that, there are people sleeping on the street. There are people who go hungry. People who can't afford to go to college. You know, and worst of all, people can't even afford to go to the doctor. I mean, that's not a healthy society. And you know, so I'm out here because, you know, I mean, quite frankly, I'm fed up. We were told that if we voted for Biden, I worked for the Biden campaign a little bit. I worked for Bernie in the primary. We were told that we'd push Biden left, and you know, Biden hasn't gone left. He's conceded to the Republicans and Joe Manchin on just about everything. And so now the only way we're going to fix anything, the only way we're going to fix the abhorrent state our country is in right now, is if we make a message loud and clear saying that we want the basic human right of health care to start. We want health care. We want it free at the point of service. We want it paid for by the 1% who have been ripping us off and stealing from the working class this entire pandemic. And you know, you know, I'm tired of hearing stories of cancer patients, you know, people with terminal illnesses who bring their families into debt, who bring themselves into debt, just trying to get treatment. And I'm tired of that. And I want the people who we put in office, who we put in power, who we gave our vote to start representing us and not the people, you know, the corporate elite interests that seem to run this country right now. That's why I'm out here.
That's an excellent point, man. I mean, like, all this, all right, Trump was awful. I'm glad he's gone. But where's this pulling Biden to the left, like you say? And people who are afraid, people who voted for Biden or the squad or whatever, who are afraid to hold them accountable, that those are the people they should be scared that you're going to pull your vote and your donation and your volunteer hours away.
Yeah.
That's what they should be afraid of, because, and you know, all good intentions. Everyone's got good intentions to do this. You want to see change.
I think that, you know, Biden, I question Biden's motives, but I think AOC and the squad, I think they have good motives. The issue is that, you know, once you get into a position of power, you start, you know, slowly they break you down. Slowly they start incorporating you into the system, and you know, so I don't question the motives of the squad, but yeah, they need to start fighting. They need to start fighting for the things that they promised us, you know. And
what are you going to do if they don't? Since they haven't yet. So what are you going to do if they don't?
Well, if they don't, well, first of all, we got to let Nina Turner. We have to let Nina Turner. I think if Nina Turner goes into Congress, she can whip some of these people into shape. You know, she can light a fire under some folks, get people in line, start a real caucus, start really demanding things. So Nina Turner must win. We have to support Nina Turner. Donate, you know, foment, whatever you can do. I mean, if that doesn't work, we got to keep organizing. We have to organize grassroots. You know, nothing was ever won by politicians. Nothing. We never got anything from a politician, you know, being kind. We forced politicians to do things. The minimum wage, the 8-hour workday, civil rights, you know, ending the various proxy wars we've started across the world. That was all done by the people organizing, not the politicians. And so we're gonna have to force them to do the things they promised us.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah, and my worry, I mean, I love Nina Turner, but my worry is if she gets in, the Democratic Party is going to do what they're going to just force her to acquiesce. I would love her to get in and then do what Paula Swearingen did and just leave and go to the People's Party. That's what I would love to see. Because I just worry that the corporate infrastructure of the Democratic Party.
I think that, I mean, if that could be pulled off, I'd like to see it. I mean, you know, I believe in diversity of tactics. If people want to try running third party, then, you know, they can do that. I think, personally, that just my opinion, I think that I have faith in Nina Turner from within the Democratic Party. You know, I'm not a big fan of the Democrats, obviously. They're better than Trump, obviously, but, you know, I don't know. If we can manage a third party, that'd be nice. If we can work within the Democratic Party, that's just as good. Whatever works, that's my view. Whatever works.
Whatever gets it done.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Cool, man. Thanks for your time, brother.
Hey,
I appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming out.
You got it, man. How you doing today, sir?
I want to adopt him.
It's good to see.
So from people over the people who work in the polls.
It's good to see.
And how she thought that was okay. You know, oh, it's okay to do this.
And then well, they've lost their minds because all the videos
Yeah.
of what they used to say
Yeah.
on their show,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to take this moral high ground.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the camel toes and all that.
God.
Oh my God. You
That was-
guys call yourselves journalists?
I was like, all the crazy stuff I've said as a comedian was
Right.
not even close to that.
Right, exactly.
But I'm a comedian.
Yeah. She's doing camel joke. Oh, go watch the video of, you know, what's her name, Tuha. You know, and then she's saying, oh, Jimmy Dore is sexually harassed me. It's like, you were telling people to go look at someone who
Pay for the membership
yeah.
to look at those.
Yeah, right, to look at some girl's cooter. And you're like, and you're saying Jimmy Dore sexually harassed you? Seriously?
That was the craziest. Well, we're here. We were just talking about why TYT's collapsing, but but it was also here on the Medicare for All rally. Sorry, guys, we just had some connectivity issues out here, but we'll get that
I
fixed.
just want to finish what I'm saying. Basically, I'm saying that I'm out here because I'm supporting these folks because they work really hard. They don't have to sine wave on a Saturday. They could be at the beach. They don't.
It's it's a beautiful day. I mean, it's Hawaii. It's gorgeous.
Right.
It's another. You could be doing.
And it's because we have our government actually designed to be of, by, and for the people. And that's why these folks are out. If you don't get involved, you get Joe Biden, who's doing nothing.
Nothing.
You have to get involved and force the politicians to do what we want. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it takes us all together working together. And that's what's happening today. So that's why I'm out here supporting these great folks. And my heart goes out to them all. I appreciate them so much. And I appreciate all you folks who are watching this. Please get involved. Whatever you're doing, do one more thing. If you've made a phone call, well then, send an email. If you send an email and you've never held a sign, get out there and hold a sign.
Yeah.
Get and do whatever it is, one more thing, and you'll double our efforts. Thank you.
Yeah, it's important. It's important to have. It's important to have people get involved and do what they can. You know what I mean? It's like. That's what we got to do because both of these parties are paid to deny us Medicare for all. I mean, like we should, every country, and we're 70 years behind Europe.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. Well, thank you so much.
And they've got better bagels.
Yeah, they got way better. Way better. And they got a great quality of life. I was like, wow, they pay so much in taxes. I go, because they get something for it.
They got better cheese.
They have these month-long vacations.
Yeah, month-long vacation.
Everyone's in a good mood. They're not trying to take over the world. They're all in a great mood, man.
Yeah.
So that's what we could have everyone could be in a better mood if we all had Medicare for all.
That's right. Exactly. We wouldn't have the pressure. We wouldn't be worried. I mean, if the number one reason you're going to go bankrupt is because of healthcare, that's a huge worry.
Yeah.
How can you get through the week without worrying? Oh my God, how am I going to can I eat or can I buy the medication that's going to save my life? So yeah, we'd all be so much happier passing Medicare for all.
Yeah. It would help everybody's life. And
yes, thank you
thanks,
so
brother.
much.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Graham.
How you doing?
Good. Glad to be here.
So thank you, first of all, for holding up the sign. You guys are doing like serious labor.
All PR.
You got 2 signs in your hands. So what brought you out here today? Why are you involved in this?
I think it's very important that we step up to the plate and match all the other industrial nations that provide comprehensive health care for their citizens. I mean, the United States, come on, we're supposed to be the most prosperous nation in the world, and we can't afford health care for our citizens while other countries, many other countries, right? Many other industrial countries do. So what is wrong with that picture?
Yeah.
I think most of our money is going to the military-industrial complex, and I think instead we should be spending it towards our own citizens.
Absolutely. Every time they say, "How are we going to pay for Medicare for all?" I go, "Why did the democratically controlled Senate just approve $25 billion more for the war budget?"
Yeah.
Like, if we cut our military budget in half,
Right.
we would still be outspending China by $200 billion.
Right. Oh, by the way, China, I don't know if you know, but during the 1950s, I think Mao, he instituted a comprehensive health plan for all the citizens in China. Before that, all the peasants, all the majority of people in China, they didn't have health care. But Mao and the Communist Party, they gave them a comprehensive health plan back in the 50s. It wasn't great, but it was better than nothing what they had before. So if he could do that back then, why can't we do that
Why
now?
can't we do it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shameful.
It's funny when and there's people who watch the show from all over the world, and people in other countries are like, "What's wrong with you guys in America?
Yeah.
How is this such a problem? Why can't you
Yeah.
guys get this?"
It's just appalling.
It's nuts. Well, I mean, obviously coming out here and doing these kind of protests are good and being involved. What other actions do you think people can take on a local level, on a state level, but also on a national level?
Oh, gee. I mean, get the word out, discuss with your friends. I mean, go on Facebook or Twitter and discuss in a civil manner what the issue is and what we can do about it, that we could actually make a change and gather together, maybe a movement to push our representatives and our senators to improve the Medicare bill, actually, and into a Medicare for all bill.
Right on.
Talk, discuss,
Yeah.
but in a civil manner. of
And
course.
it's in a civil manner. Very nice. It's so Hawaiian. Everyone's so nice here. I really like how polite everyone is. I don't think I've been honked at maybe once the entire time I've been here. And I'm like, that in LA, you're honked
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
Like everyone's nice. You just give the shaka. Everyone's
right.
cool.
Just we're a little bit more mellow right here.
Way more mellow. Way more mellow. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
You got it. Hey, hey,
Aloha.
aloha.
Aloha kakayaka.
Yeah.
That means good morning.
Wonderful. Thank you. What's your name and what brought you out here
Ingrid
today?
Peterson, and I've always been for Medicare for all. My family has for decades. We didn't used to call it that, but universal single payer health care, like the rest of the developed world has, and all my cousins in Europe. And I have good health care. It's just, I think everyone else should have that, and that it's a human right. And then it's ridiculous that we're wasting so much money on the middlemen and the pharmaceutical companies. Medicare for all would be so much more efficient, and people would end up coming up ahead. Even if we raise taxes, they end up paying less because they would be paying the premiums, they wouldn't be paying the co-pays and all that, and drugs would be really cheap, and we just got to do it.
Yeah,
You got to grow up, USA.
I would grow up, USA. Yeah, it's funny. I interviewed Dr. Stephen Kemble, who's a big advocate here in this state,
Yes.
and he pointed out such a great fact about how it's mainly the insurance companies that are profiting from all of this.
Right.
And we got to get them out of the for-profit model. We just have to get rid of it.
It's
just,
actually a burden on the U.S. economy.
yeah.
Yeah, I've read articles about that too, because we spend so much money on healthcare that's basically wasted because it's going to the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies, because we should be able to bargain for lower prices.
You're right. It would be better for the economy if everyone wasn't spending all this money on insurance and co-pays and deductibles.
Yeah.
There'd be more money to infuse into the economy.
Right. And it's just, of the morally right thing to do. I mean, healthcare is a human right, and it's not right. I mean, people go bankrupt and end up homeless because they can't pay for their medical care. Anyway,
It's not right.
I've always been for it, always.
Thank you so much, and tell your cousins in Europe, thanks for. Tell your cousins.
Leading the way.
Leading the way, like all my
Yeah,
friends in
my
other
cousins
countries,
in Sweden and in Germany, yeah.
and they got a great quality of life, probably.
Oh yeah, in all sorts of ways, including medical care.
Of course, of course. Thank you so
But
much.
I love our country. We just need to grow up a little.
Yeah, we got to grow up a little. Everyone's got to
And
grow up.
stop just like letting the greedy people grab things.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Well, thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Let me stand on this side of you, brother, so I can switch hands. So, how are you, my friend? Tell everybody your name and what brought you out here today for this Medicare for All rally.
So my name is Mike Tunok. I'm out here because I supported Medicare for All from the beginning. As I've been to other countries, I've got to experience the Medicare systems of the European countries. And I always ask, why are we always paying an arm and a leg for Medicare or for healthcare in general? Like even for something as simple like going to the doctor, like why am I paying I have to pay $100, for example, for even painkillers?
Right.
Like what is up with that?
Yeah, and then the other thing too. So yeah, it's $100 for painkillers. We interviewed another guy, had to get some prescription. It cost him $60. That's with insurance, and that's because the pharmaceutical companies are allowed to just basically price gouge. And so, when you see the models of other countries that you've traveled to, what's some of the biggest differences that you've seen?
So I've always preferred the UK's version. So they have nationalized health service. It's always free at the point of service, but it's like when people say free stuff, I'm like going, you're still paying for it. It's just you're not getting like you're not getting paid, or you're not paying like taxes and then paying like while you're in there. So it's like you're not getting like billed on top of a bill on top of a bill. Or it's like the insurance industry in America is a scam within a scam on top of a scam. That's the easiest way to describe this healthcare system that we're living in.
Yeah, and the other thing too, when they always say like, "Oh, it's going to cost, and your taxes are going to go up." No, they won't. No, they shouldn't.
No, they won't. Like you'll literally save like I think it was like in the trillions, like or at least 5 trillion over a period of 10 years compared to what we're paying now. Like Joe Biden says, "Oh, we're going to pay like $50 trillion." He actually said this during the campaign trail, but it's like over the span of 10 years, that $50 trillion. The current healthcare system is 55 trillion or 60 trillion dollars.
Right.
It's like I'd rather pay less in that regard.
Oh yeah, they go, Bernie's plan is going to cost 34 trillion. It's like, well, the current system is more than that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what you're talking about. It'll save money. And this current system the only people who are benefiting from this are the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. Mm-hmm. I mean, like insurance companies, they just get in the middle and jack up the price.
It's a mafia mentality, and that's what's scary about it. It's like even my partner, like her insulin, I have to pay like almost $400 a month. Like what is up with that?
Is that with insurance?
Yes.
With insurance?
Yes.
Wow, $400 a month for insulin with insurance. So I guess just try not to be born with diabetes, I guess, is what you got to do in this country. Just good luck.
And they tell us pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. I'm like going, yeah, but you took our bootstraps from the beginning, or you kneecapped us from the start. Yeah. It's like, what do you expect? Or it's like if that's not your analogy, then it's like we're all at the negative 15-yard line, and the rich people are at the 85-yard line, and you have to run to the 100-yard line.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, who's gonna win?
Yeah, I know. And then they tell you to pull you up out of your bootstraps because they made you start. They didn't even give you boots. Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Like, what other actions do you think people should be taking? I mean, obviously this is good, getting the word out, but what? And these are by National Nurses United is here on this. So, what actions do you think people can take?
So there was the whole force to vote thing. It's still ongoing because I mean, like, just because we got shafted by the people in office, it doesn't mean that the movement is dead. It's still going. We still have to keep fighting. Like we have to make sure that do we have the people force the vote inside office? Like every opportunity we get, force the vote.
Yeah, yeah. And the people, like, I cannot say this enough. If you voted for the people that are in office, Joe Biden, the squad, or whatever, you voted for them, and they promised you Medicare for all, and they're not doing anything about it,
hold their feet to the fire, or kick them out.
Vote them out. Don't give them a penny of your money, and vote somebody else in, and get behind whatever, the People's Party or whoever you got to get behind, because this is just preposterous, man. Well, cool. I really appreciate your time, dude, and thanks for coming out here today.
Thank you.
All right, man. Hey, can I interview you? So tell everybody both your names and what brought you out here today.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Julia.
And we're in support for Medicare for all.
Yeah. Have you ever had any personal experiences that have forced you or a family member that's had to go through anything?
We're both kind of lucky in that we haven't been like in that worst of it kind of category. I was receiving allergy shots for a while because I had bad pet allergies, but I lost my insurance and had to stop halfway through that treatment. So that was not a good.
And then what did you do with your allergies then when you stopped?
Oh, nothing. That was 5-6 years ago. I have insurance now, but I had the opportunity to start it back up, unfortunately.
Wow. And how about you?
Me, I'm lucky enough, I haven't personally experienced it, but my parents both have had to stay in jobs that treat them really, really poorly because they want to keep their insurance. They need health care. They're in their 50s and they need to go to the doctor, and if they change jobs, their insurance might change. They have good benefits now, so it sucks. It really does.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, it's great that you're out here, and what other actions do you think people should be taking to try to get this passed?
Pressure. I believe in pressure, political pressure. Just full stop. People in progressives in the military, not the military, sorry, I'm nervous.
It's all right.
Progressives in the government, they need to use their political pressure to continue to push the Overton window to the left, normalize Medicare for all. All the other developed countries have it, and we should too. We're the richest country ever. We should.
In the history of the world.
Yeah.
Right, and yet for some reason we're spending more per capita on healthcare for a worse system than other industrialized countries. It just doesn't make any sense for us to be throwing money into something that's just not working for our people, for our citizens.
No, yeah, and the Senate just increased the military budget for Biden. So now we're spending even more money on military. We already outspend the next 10 countries combined.
Yeah, but how are we going to pay for this though?
Right, yeah, I don't know where we're going to find the money for this. This is, I mean, these signs are expensive. I don't know, Medicare for all.
We have to give subsidies to billionaires to fly into space, but we can't afford to give everyone health care.
That is maddening, watching that asshole fly his goddamn dick rocket around the planet for 4 minutes and then come out with his cowboy hat and high five people he paid for to do. Like, it's maddening. And that asshole could give you all of this to every Amazon worker, every Whole Foods worker, union jobs, great health care, a pension, and still fly his fucking dick rocket around the goddamn planet.
No, you'll spend all that money trying to bust unions, trying to stop those benefits from reaching the people. It's unfortunate. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out today, guys, and hopefully we won't have to do many more of these because we'll get Medicare for all.
That'd be very nice.
How you doing, sir? Can I talk to you? That's okay. All right. Okay, I'll talk to your wife. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you.
My name's Graham Elwood, and I just wanted to ask you tell us what your name is and what brought you out here today.
My name is Eileen, and I'm here because I think Medicare is a human right, and we should all have it. Like every other industrialized country in the world, except the United States.
Right.
And I'll vote for anyone who supports Medicare for all.
And what do you do when you vote for somebody and then they say they're going to be for Medicare for all and they get in office and they don't do it? What do you think should be done?
I'll work to support someone who does what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Promises are important, and I keep track of them.
You keep track of them?
Yes, I do.
That's really good. And what other actions do you think people can take to help get this passed?
I think they should call their representatives and do that by telephone and by any means that they can. Everything counts.
Right.
But emails kind of not so much bounces off. So if you can phone and fill their inboxes with your voice, that would be great.
Yeah, they recognize that when they get that kind of action. Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And thanks for coming out today. You guys have a great day. Hey, brother, can I interview you?
Sure.
I just want to know, tell everybody what your name is and what brought you out here, why you support Medicare for all.
Oh, my name is Jason, and I'm supporting Medicare for all because it's a common sense program. The rest of the developed world has it, and we don't. It's ridiculous. We're the richest country in the world, I keep hearing, and we got the worst healthcare.
Yeah.
Or at least we got the worst payment program plan, where we're given, some middleman insurance company the power to gatekeep your healthcare, stand between your doctor and you, and make decisions based on their bottom line. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's true. We have the best doctors, nurses, and healthcare facilities, but
Right.
it's the most crazy expensive Because like you say, the middlemen, the insurance companies get in there and jack the rates up and the pharmaceutical and all that stuff.
Yeah, they're getting their beak wet on every single thing.
Yeah. Have you had any personal experience or family member or friends like going through this Medicare system and being charged or whatever, or not being able to get care?
I have family and friends who had to start GoFundMes for medical problems because they just can't afford the ridiculous prices that we're paying in this country. I mean, it's the most common GoFundMe, right?
Yeah.
It's for medical problems.
Yeah, and the biggest cause of bankruptcy.
Right.
Is medical bills. That's insane. We have to do a GoFundMe. We have to do GoFundMes for medical care. Like, people in other countries are like, this is insane.
Yeah, you tell that to somebody who lives in Europe and they look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine in Australia and she goes, basically, those GoFundMes are just a tax on good people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're just good, honest, want to help. Oh, I'll give money to this GoFundMe, which is a good, noble cause, but they're like, you're just taxing good people because the wealthy don't want to take care of anybody.
It's just Band-Aids. You're not solving the problem.
Right.
The way to solve the problem is to go to single payer and get everybody covered and just centralize the thing, get the middleman out of there. All he does is jack up the price.
Right. Right. And they've had record profits, and
oh yeah,
the CEO of Kaiser makes $16 million a year or something crazy like that. So what other direct actions do you think people can take?
I'm not sure. I mean, the voting booth, rallies, got to raise awareness. I know YouTube personalities. Some of you guys are all over it, and we support you guys, definitely. But concrete actions, man, I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah. Well, I think this is everyone's kind of saying a lot of same, like, it's calling local the phone calls and the pressure, especially on just about everyone's been saying here. They're like, these politicians like Joe Biden and the squad who got elected by folks like us saying, hey, you're going to give us Medicare for all. And when they don't, we got to pressure them hard, man.
Oh, yeah. Either that or get rid of them and get somebody else who will follow through.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
You got to threaten their jobs or they won't do it, right?
Yeah, and their donations. Yeah, because if you vote, donate time to them, then they think, oh, this guy will do whatever I want. But if you take that away, then, they're out of office and they're out of a job.
That's right.
And they're on a book tour.
Good to see you, Graham.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks for coming. Hello,
I can't follow that.
Yeah, you
he
can.
He says so much about it at home.
What's your name and why do you support Medicare for all?
My name is Stephanie, and I think we need Medicare for all because it's just ridiculous how insurance just runs our medical. I mean, I had to switch doctors just to get care for the same issue because the companies just put limits on certain types of care, and then when you run out, you have to look for another company and just still pay more money.
Right.
So yeah, we've switched doctors a couple of times just to help with a certain medical issue, and we still pay out of pocket thousands and thousands of dollars after that too.
That's with insurance.
With insurance, yes.
Of course.
Yes. So you put your $20 copay, and then you get like a huge, like couple hundred or even $1,000 bill after that.
On top of the monthly premium.
On top of the premium and top of the copay, yes. Yes, because they say insurance doesn't cover everything. Your private insurance doesn't cover everything. They only cover some things. And they only cover part of a prescription sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, one guy back there said he had to pay $60 for a prescription. That's with insurance.
Yes, that's ridiculous. Like to pay for medical insurance out of your paycheck after every paycheck and then still pay thousands of dollars for treatment is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And so you're doing really good. I thought you thought he did better than you. You're on fire, man. You're like, I don't know what, you're on fire. So yeah, what other actions do you think people can do?
Vote and support candidates that only care for Medicare for all. You can't just pick a politician because you like them or anything like that. You really have to do your research and hope that they really support Medicare for all and they're serious about Medicare for all and not just, talking the talk but not walking the walk. Just, vote for the ones that are really going to support Medicare for all.
Right. And then what I haven't heard anyone say yet today, but maybe it's time to be said, is a general strike.
General strike.
General strike, like just shut it down. Like we're not, nobody's working, no one's doing anything.
We gotta take a clue from the French.
Yeah, look at the, I got
Shut the whole place down.
Shut it down. And then it's like, then now we're not doing
Now
it.
they have to pay attention.
Yeah, we're not.
The best revolutions.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love them.
We have a consensus. The French make the best revolutions here, everybody. So it's time for a yellow vest.
That's
Shut it
right,
down.
I need a yellow vest.
Boom. Somebody sent this to me.
Yellow vest.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hi, Graham.
Hey, mother. How are you, man?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excellent. Tell everybody your name and why you're out here.
My name is Gaurav. I'm from India, in the United States since 5 years, now a permanent resident. And I've learned that we need Medicare for all in this country, which is very important. It's important for me, it's important for everybody. And I'm doing what I feel in my heart, what is right. And I want to support this cause. Yeah.
So how do you see the healthcare system here compared to India?
In India, we have healthcare system as private and also socialized. People who are poor, who cannot afford it, they can go in the government hospital. And people who are rich, they have obviously the private hospital, but it's much more like, well equipped and very well organized. But in India, we like people take care, there is government hospital, private hospital. So I think we need something over here. Even poor people should have something that they should be able to go and at least have like a checkup with not like a lot of money to spend on it. Yeah. So I'm here, and I feel this is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and what other things do you think we could do here in America to help get Medicare for all?
Since pandemic happened in 2020, I started consuming a lot of news, and in the beginning I was bombarded with I would say the right-wing news, but I didn't know anything about it. So I started looking and searching what they mean and everything, and through that pondering and thinking, I came across all this lefty YouTube media, and then I started
do you watch the Jimmy Dore show?
Yeah, I watch you also. Yeah. You just had a Lee Camp thing with you.
Right on.
Yeah. So yes, I've started consuming news, and I realized it's very important to arrange a political movement to have a better material lifestyle for everyone, because it's very important. Policy makes difference. It makes material difference in people's life and health. Yeah. Yes.
Right on. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Nice
coming out. Can I talk to you? You up?
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Tell everybody your name and why you support Medicare for all.
Well, my name is Monica, and from a sort of perspective of broader societal ideals, I support it because why wouldn't you when it's the status quo for the rest of the global north, and if we have the money to do so in a country where individuals are responsible taxpayers and potentially drowning from medical debt and losing their houses and their savings, I think it's atrocious and amoral and one of our greatest sort of social ills. From a personal perspective, I lost my father too soon. I think he had an illness that was overwhelming for him, and I think if we had, he actually qualified for Medicare, but there's private insurance as well, and he was concerned about his savings and things like this. And I don't think people who are in a vulnerable, fragile position should have to sort of think about what's going to happen to their life savings. My parents were both immigrants from Poland. They paid their taxes. They did everything right. They did everything. They didn't have credit card debt. They did everything they were supposed to do. And yet when they ran into one too many obstacles, they couldn't manage. And that, in the richest country that ever existed, I find that to be a shame and atrocious and a sort of stain on our moral constitution. And yeah, I lived in England, but that's my husband who you just talked to. We lived in England for about 1.5 years. We love the NHS. It's phenomenal. I was like, this is great. I can go to the doctor and not have to pay anything. And well, you have to pay, obviously, via your taxes.
You're the second person I talked to today. It's like, wow,
I love the NHS.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. And so do the Brits. Well, at least my friends do. And I don't know, I don't see why we can't pay. We can pay for it is a thing, but they tell us that we can't. And so we buy that hook, line, and sinker because that's been the status quo, because we live in a corporatocracy, because there are insurance lobbyists that lobby our local and our state and our federal politicians. And it's an embarrassment, plain and simple. So that's why I support Medicare for all. For human beings, for their health, for their well-being, for their safety, because it's a simple decision to make to live in a more compassionate society.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not a compassionate society.
No.
Just like
if you're worried about I can't. When I read stories about fathers foregoing chemotherapy because they don't want to leave their family in medical debt, that's unforgivable to me. And we are all like creating that because we keep voting for the same guys. And I know a lot of us don't know maybe the inner stories of it, but like we've got to absolutely change the way that we see our society. And we have to take control of it and not the corporate lobbyists. And perhaps that's naive of me, but that's why I'm standing here today, because you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to start somewhere. Well, right on. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So this is you guys, you've heard I can just take my mask down for a second. You've heard all these different people from different age groups, different walks of life. I mean, we've seen young, like a teenager, early 20s on up, people from different countries and different backgrounds all saying the same thing. Two guys in a pickup truck just honked and said Trump baby, which I don't understand. Like, this isn't a so they're against healthcare for everybody, and that's the brainwashing that's happened. You got to earn it, or you can't afford. Like the righties say, oh, it's socialism. You got to earn it, and the vote any blue will do crowd, and say how we're going to pay for it. So there's all those things. Like, you're trying to tell me there aren't Trump supporters that have gone bankrupt because they didn't have good health insurance? So that's part of the messaging for all of us to do. This isn't a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an American issue, and every American from every walk of life should be on board with this. And when you're talking to someone who's voted for whatever, Trump or Biden or whatever, you got to explain to them all the facts that everyone just laid out here. I mean, if you've just listened to what everybody just said, all the facts that have been laid out. Oh, how are we going to pay for it? The same way we pay for all these wars and stimulus plans. How are we going to pay? I mean, and you'll probably find out once you get past the Trump, once you get past that and just ask them questions rather than argue, just ask them questions. So, do you like the fact that 40,000 Americans die every year because they don't have health insurance? Do you think it's good the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical debt? And get them to answer that question. And if they go, the Democrats go, the Democrats are awful. And so's the Republicans. That's the thing. Like, everybody that we just spoke to all pointed out all the problems. And it's both parties, because both the pharmaceutical companies and the insurance, they spend, I've shown you on my videos if you watch my show before, and you can go to opensecrets.org and do your own research. Go to Open Secrets and type in pharmaceutical, number of donations for pharmaceutical companies, pharmaceutical industry, or something like language like that. Open Secrets will show you who donated, what companies donated, who they donated to, the percentage of donations, Republican, Democrat. I guarantee it'll be close. It'll be 52-48, one party or the other. I mean, I just showed you the one about the medical or the military-industrial complex. So go do your own research, you guys, and check that out. So I know we're all watching on YouTube right now. I don't think there's a way to live stream from my phone for Rockfin, but those of you that are Rockfin supporters as well, I will take this video, this whole live stream, and I will put it up on Rockfin. So if anyone wants to support it on Rockfin, obviously you can't do the super chats or whatever, but we're gonna probably Yeah. So this is pretty cool. There's one more Dennis. I want to interview him. He's one of the organizers of this. But this is really cool. And also, you saw a lot of people here who watch. Some people watch the Jimmy Dore show, and that's how you got to get involved. You know, because anyone who's like, oh, you know, you get it for free, it's like, okay. Yeah, that's what I would ask. That's what I would say to these couple guys with Trump flags honked. You know, ask them. Did you think no Trump supporters have gone bankrupt through medical debt? You know, I mean, this one woman talked about a man that was like, she heard about a father like foregoing chemo because he didn't want to burden his family with medical debt. So he's just like, I guess I got to choose death so that I don't burden my family with medical debt. My father passed away last year, and he had really good insurance, and he was in and out of hospitals the last 3-4 years of his life because his health kept deteriorating, and you know, he didn't take great care of himself. Drank probably too much and stuff, but it's I'm just gonna sit in the shade here. But none of us, my brother and my 2 sisters, none of us got burdened with his medical debt, thankfully, because, you know, he was a college professor with tenure, you know, and he taught for 50 years, and so he had fantastic insurance. But he was in his 80s, and he got in a profession years ago, back when health insurance was really great. So what if he didn't? What if he didn't have that? And I just think about that. Like, what if, you know, and this happens to most people the last years of your life. And it'd be great if we all just lived to be 80, 85 and then had a heart attack and that, boom, you know, all healthy. But still, no matter who you are, as you get older, you're going to have health issues. You know, I just started to have, I think, a sinus-like headaches, and I've had them for a long time. And I was at the doctor because I had to get a COVID test, which came back negative. And I was like, they're like, well, it sounds like you might have chronic sinus infection. And we can run a test for you, do this like imaging to see what it is. But even with your insurance, it's gonna be like 240 some bucks. Or you can just go buy Flonase and see if that works. So I was like, well, I'll spend the $20 on the Flonase. I'll spend the $20 because it's like, I don't want to spend all the money on the expensive test if I don't have to. So right there, I just made a decision on an over-the-counter thing. Hey, maybe the over-the-counter thing works because the doctor said, you know, I go, what? I don't want to take antibiotics. He goes, it's just a steroid and it'll bring the inflammation down and then allow your body, your own immune system to heal itself if it's just chronic sinus infection. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And, you know, those are but immediately it's a matter of cost. It's not a matter of treatment, it's a matter of cost. And if they were both free, or like both of them were $25, I'd probably still maybe take the Flonase because it's like, well, but if the Flonase doesn't work in 2 weeks, then I'm gonna have to spend the money on getting this imaging. And this is a minor thing. This is just a sinus infection. This is giving me like a low-grade headache for a while, on and off. I've had this. So, so it's like, this isn't even a serious issue. I mean, we talk to people today, someone whose girlfriend has diabetes. He's got to spend $400 a month on insulin. You know, we've listened to all these people's different stories. And even a lot of people have really good health care, but they're out here because they're like, they all realize, well, I got good health care through my job, but if that goes away, the one woman said both her parents are in their 50s and they're staying in jobs where they're treated horribly because they don't want to give up their health insurance, and they're in their 50s. And as you get older, you got to think about that. I mean, one of the reasons I'm fighting for this is I'm going to be 52 soon, and I eat healthy and I work out and I'm in very good shape, but still, you still have to go to the doctor for something, you know. And as your body gets older, you're going to have to keep, no matter how much yoga and vegan smoothies I do. That's one of the reasons I'm so healthy, is because I'm like, oh God, what happens when I get older? Medical debt? I don't want that. I don't want to burden anybody with that. I don't want to, and it's like, we have the best facilities and physicians. We have great treatment. It's just the cost. And there's no reason for it to be this expensive. And which is, again, and that's important to bring up, because some people will try to use it. Oh, well, if we go to Medicare for all, socialized medicine, then we're going to have horrible health care. You're going to have to wait in line to see a doctor. I mean, they play that card, because that's all propaganda paid for by the healthcare lobby. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Yeah, this is a cool mask they gave me, right? It's adjustable. They gave me a button and a shirt, and the shirt's cool because it's almost like a tour shirt for a band, because on the back it has all of the cities where the rallies are having. So I'm going to talk to Dennis right now. Hey, Dennis, can I interview you?
All right.
He's adjusting his footwear.
So how's the ETH scene going? I heard you got demonetized by YouTube.
Yes, I did get demonetized by YouTube. So, normally I'd be getting super chats to help finance this, but I still do everything I still put stuff on YouTube, but I'm on Rockfin, and that's been, they pay us in crypto, and that's been keeping me going. And then people have helped me out, my Patreon and Venmo, and so all that stuff's really helped.
Do you also have an Odyssey account as well?
I am on Odyssey as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have both Rockfin and Odyssey as well.
Yeah. So I'm on everything I post on YouTube automatically goes to Odyssey.
Okay.
So that's how we're staying afloat, man.
I was hearing about you from Harlan's meeting. I caught your.
Those guys are great. Well, let me talk to Dennis.
Well, hello.
Hello. So you're one of the organizers of this event. Tell everybody your name and how long you've been working in this, and where we're sort of at here.
Okay.
In the state of Hawaii.
I'm Dennis B. Miller. I like to add the B, so it doesn't sound like that other guy. And I was a Bernie fanatic. He lost. I felt the way to continue the political revolution was to select a topic that affected everyone and which had zero ambiguity about its value, and that's healthcare. There is zero ambiguity on the topic of how much we're spending for it, which is way too much. We're spending an enormous amount that we don't need to spend on healthcare. Whatever your morality, whatever your politics, why do you choose to spend 1/3 of your budget on non-medical expenses, right? Billing. If you have a business, are you gonna spend 1/3 of your budget on administrative costs? Hell no. So our 900 health insurance companies, each with multiple financing systems, each with multiple patient charting systems, multiple benefit packages, and various rates of reimbursement, cost vastly more than what the Congressional Budget Office said last December 20 single payer will cost. Yeah, the CBO scored, Congressional Budget Office, they scored single payer last year and showed that one national health insurance company with one benefit plan, one admin system, one patient charting system, one rate of reimbursement costs $743 billion less per year to administer than our current collection of 900 health insurance companies. Why is that not news? Hello, Schatz. Hello, Hirono. Hello, Case. Hello, Kaihele. Why are you not talking about the CBO score of single payer? It's a CBO score made by Republicans who showed that less bureaucracy costs less than more bureaucracy. Let's shrink the size of the health insurance complex down to the size where we can just wad it up like an insurance application we don't need anymore and throw it away. Because in single payer, every single person's gonna have the health care. Some people say Medicare for All takes away your choices. Oddly enough, Tulsi said that as well when she was a presidential candidate. She said that to Anderson Cooper on CNN, that Medicare for All will take away your choices. She said that around February 2020. Hello, Tulsi, I supported you. Not after that. What Medicare for All will give you is your choice of any doctor. And in the bill, it's comprehensive. Everything you need, it's there. Go to any doctor you need, they'll take care of you. No doctor will say, well, who's your insurance company? Because they're all gonna send the invoice to one source. Yes, there's regions. It's not literally one source. Each doctor has a single source that they send their simple one-click invoice to. That way we stop spending over $1 trillion per year, over $1 trillion per year on non-medical expenses of administering our healthcare. We spend more for health insurance bureaucracy than we do on defense. Huh? Why do we do that? Because the biggest lobbyists in this country are the health insurance lobby and the pharmaceutical lobby. Those two combined are the biggest lobby in the USA, and they own our government. They own Congress, they own our state government. That's why Governor Ige will not talk about a bill Senator David Ige voted for in 2009, the Hawaii Health Authority, which is supposed to set up universal health care in Hawaii and could do so, except our government won't allow it. Governor Ige won't allow it. Here's what's really going on. You got your lobbyists talking to your senators, talking to your representatives at both levels, and they're telling them what is a rosy picture. They're giving them some statements that we're doing a good job here. This is good. And in Hawaii, the insurance companies say we have close to universal coverage. Right, nobody can afford it, and you're gonna say this is good. The stat that Judy Moore Peterson, head of Medicaid in Hawaii, MedQuest Hawaii, uses to tell Governor Ige and members of the legislature that there's no possibility of saving money from simplifying the administrative cost of healthcare is this, that 93% of healthcare costs in Hawaii are medical, leaving only 7% for administration. Therefore, single-payer claims of big savings from simplifying admin are not realistic. That's what she says. And technically, it's correct because the beautiful ACA allowed non-medical costs of medical management to be classified as healthcare. So when you have non-medical costs allowed to be classified as healthcare, and then you have insurance officials like Judy Moore Peterson, head of MedQuest Hawaii, informing our state officials that we're doing the best we can, we're doing a really good job, and no way could any kind of single payer help out, they're lying to our officials. And our officials, such as Senator Rhodes, are just gobbling it up. Senator Rhodes had a little conversation going on with one of his supporters on email, and after the supporter said, you know what, the Hawaii Health Authority is going to cut our costs, Senator Rhodes responded, I am informed that your claims of savings are not realistic. And that ended the conversations. This cannot end the conversation. Connecticut won this argument 8 years ago. Connecticut's Medicaid department, after about 10 years of working, in which activists sued their Medicaid department with a FOIA request for data on what their real costs were. And once the public in Connecticut knew what the real costs were, they made the right decision. They fired their private contractors for Medicaid and rehired a couple of them, giving them a simple financing system. It's called an ASO, an Administrative Services Only contract. Connecticut did that, costs went down, and then doctors could afford to accept it. Why don't doctors right now accept Medicaid? They can't afford it. It has the lowest reimbursement, and right now it's too complex to accept. They can't afford the billing. They'll take Medicaid, but they can't afford the billing for it. If we simplified the billing, doctors would accept it. Hawaii has a physician shortage. They're quitting because they cannot afford the billing costs for all of our complex insurance stuff, which is what people like Schatz and Hirono and Case and Hiro Kaihale are defending. If you defend the ACA, if you defend HMSA, you are defending a system so complex. Doctors are going out of business. They can't accept what you defend. The Hawaii Health Authority, if allowed to create a sector-by-sector approach to virtual single payer, would start with Medicaid, fire the 5 private contractors, rehire a couple of them, give them a simple financing system, duplicate that, clone that for EUTF, the Public Employee Healthcare. Yes, Derek Mizuno, head of the Public Employee Health Benefits Union, is considering this right now. We're talking with him right now. He might not do it because another board member on the Public Employee Health Benefits sits also on HMSA. Conflict of interest? I think so. We need to get the truth out that when you simplify financing, you lower costs and you enable doctors to afford to accept it. So we make this simple system for Medicaid, clone that for public employees. That's half to 2/3 of the state. Medicare Advantage. Thank you. Medicare Advantage, same thing, state regulated. We can have a third clone for Medicare Advantage. This will result in Medicare patients opting into the better deal of the state-managed Medicare Advantage. This diverts federal Medicare dollars into a state-managed system without the federal waiver, which is the real obstacle to single payer. People talking about state-based single payer, they're just wishing for the moon because you got a federal government in Biden who's not a Democrat, he's a fraud. He will not allow us to have single payer at the state level. He just won't do it. He serves corruption. He serves health insurance. He serves lobbyists, not you and me. So we can't get single payer because you can't get Medicare. But we can ignore Medicare. We can ignore the ERISA waiver if you want to get technical. We can ignore that stuff and create a sector-by-sector approach. Simplify Medicaid. Simplify public health employee benefits by kicking HMSA out as a middleman, using a clone of the Medicaid system. Same thing for Medicare Advantage. You got 3 systems right there using the same billing. What do you think doctors feel? They love it. Their costs go down. We see clinics rise up in Puna, Waipahu, everywhere. All right, then the state could say to the public, hey, you want a public option? Huh? You want to buy into our Medicaid program? You can. It costs less than HMSA or Kaiser, same or better benefits. Okay, the free market will give a single payer here in Hawaii. And this is what the Hawaii Health Authority could do. This is what Governor Ige refuses to talk about. And as a rationale, he and others in the state government use Judy Moore Peterson's false statement that 93% of Medicaid dollars are on healthcare and therefore there is no possibility of saving money by simplifying admin. Not true. That's not true. Even Gordon Ito, the former health insurance of Hawaii, started in 2017 December. Remember that? He made a little statement, got in the news. He said, our health insurance costs are going up by 6.5% per year, resulting in a figure of $42,000 per year for health insurance for a family of 4 in Hawaii. He said this is unsustainable, and what he feared is that because costs are outrageous, what's going to happen is the business community will insist on repealing Hawaii's vaunted prepaid healthcare act. That was his fear. Now, the way to lower the curve, as he called it, to lower costs, was to decrease utilization, and that's it. There's no other way to lower costs in our state officials' minds other than by decreasing utilization or denying service. Hello, there's another way. It's called less bureaucracy, and it's the Hawaii Health Authority. And this is what Governor Ige has to support. And this is what, hey, come on, Adrian Tam, Representative Hawaii, Gene Capella, you said you support the Hawaii Health Authority. What's up, Amy Peruso? What's up, Tina Wildberger? You said you support the Hawaii Health Authority. You disappeared last session. Well, come back and support the Hawaii Health Authority. Use your platform. I'm never going to hold a town hall for these guys again, because after they came and joined the town hall and before, none of you ever emailed your list the information that you talked about at the town hall. You have platforms. You're an elected official and you're a progressive and you talk about a lot of good stuff and you do some good stuff. I definitely vote for you and campaign for you. You guys are great. But why the hell did you give up on the Hawaii Health Authority? Bring it back in your next mailing. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Dennis, thank you so much, man. Thank you for putting this together. And oh my God, I hope you were paying attention. So this will be available, because you might want to go back and listen to everything he just said, especially if you're a resident of the state of Hawaii. But again, he brought up a great point. It's not just, so this is but he's talking about what they did in Connecticut and what they're trying to get done in Washington. So whatever state you're in, a lot of this stuff applies. So and he's talking about specific state. That's why you got to really know who your state representatives are, who's in your state legislature, because they're the ones that are going to be able to get this done on a state level. Correct?
Correct. So they could, but they have to be willing to stand up to the powers that are going to punish them if they do. Yeah. I feel the only way they can do that is with that 3.5% stat, where we get 3.5% of the public to demand something. How are they going to get more support? They got to use their email list. Yeah. They got to say to everybody, hello, y'all, I need you to flood Ige's phone. I need you even to call Judy Moore Peterson and Derek Mizuno, and I want you to tell them that we're going to swap out their current complex and costly health insurance for a simple system that costs less, and then everybody can have health care in Hawaii. This could be done, but you, the elected officials, have to use your platform. It can't just be people on the sidewalk talking about it, making 5 town halls for you last year, after which you never once used your email list to promote what you said you support.
Yeah, that's the
Slightly
key.
bitter.
No, as well you should be, but what he's saying is also echoing what everyone that I've talked to here on the street corner has said, is pressure your lawmakers. Pressure the local people who said they were going to do it, like the people who showed up at the town hall. Yeah, I stand for this. And if they don't, you have to pressure them. You have to flood their phone calls. You have to say, I'm not going to vote for you. You have to show them. You have to put pressure that they could lose their jobs. That's every politician's fear, is losing an election. So you have to let them know, if you ain't going to do this, you're gone. I don't care who you are. Don't have any allegiance to either of these two parties. They don't care. They don't care. They're paid for by the big companies. So, Dennis, thank you so much, brother.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for coming out.
You got it, man.
Ram Elwood.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let's go put those. Medicare for All Hawaii.org needs a web designer, and I'm willing to pay. Medicare for All Hawaii.org. Help me out.
You hear that? If you're a web designer and you want to help the Medicare for All, go to their. How would they get in touch with you?
They'd get in touch with me by going on that website and then filling out the contact form.
Great. So go to MedicareForAllHawaii.org, fill out the contact form, and you can help design their website. He's got money to pay you. So what a great thing to work on. So, and that's another way to be involved. Like, you might be like, Graham, what do I do? I'm just one person, or I can't make it. You're a web designer. They get a slick website that helps the cause.
All right.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
So this is really, this is cool, everybody, to see what's going on. And
Well, actually, I kind of am because...
so the rally's pretty much breaking up. We've been out here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. This guy wants to get a photo with me.
Thank you.
You got it, my friend.
Yeah. Is it okay if we take the mask?
We can take the mask off. Yeah, we can. I'm vaccinated.
Okay, me too. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. This has been really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool to meet everybody. So it looks like the rally's about to break up, but everybody, thank you so much. So go to, I'm going to show you right now, it's m4m.org. This is the national website.
Let's use this as our center, though.
Right there.
Yeah. Let's use that, because these are the guys who created. Could you stand on the
And so,
stand on the wall? Yeah.
get involved. Pressure your local lawmakers. This is how it's going to get done, everybody. Oh, I'll get out of the way. Oh, big picture.
Somebody's waiting in the dude.
You're getting. I'm live streaming a group photo. All right. This is the digital age. Live streaming a group photo.
There we go. Closer. People over here are going to be kneeling. We need some. In the front? Come on in. We need some people in here. People who can kneel.
Okay. That's better.
There we go. I'm gonna flip the camera here. As everybody was involved. We're taking a cool photo. I'm videotaping him taking a photo.
That's common. That is good. Everybody's very pew pew pew.
This is going to be a little bit video. Hey, everybody. We got bad bands.
Look at this guy. What's going on? Dude, it's a Cirque du Soleil of activists. Woo! Medicare for all.
What do we want?
Medicare for all.
When do we want it?
Now.
All right, now, you're carrying a sign there. It says, love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Join me.
Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all.
Now, we were gonna march today. It's not march. But I made one marching chant. I'm gonna call out line by line. You can imagine we keep in cadence. Let's tighten the sign up. We keep in cadence. Okay. Hey, hey, pharmacy CEOs.
Hey, pharmacy CEOs.
You can't stop Medicare for all.
You can't stop Medicare for all.
We're gonna get a national formulary.
We're gonna get a national formulaic to lower the price of prescription drugs. Hey, hey, pharma CEOs. You can't stop Medicare for all. We're gonna get a national formulaic to lower the price of prescription drugs.
This was all created today by March for Medicare for All.org. There it is on the banner, March for Medicare for All.org. A guy named Sharif Snuggs was interested in political stuff, and he was joining Sunrise, and he was joining DSA, joining whatever, he was joining events. But he never made an event, and he's frustrated. Why don't we have national action for Medicare for All? He talked to some friends and said, let's make a national movement. Okay, 3 people in a coffee shop say they want a national movement for Medicare for All. And he said, okay, we'll do it. So now we're going to do it again. More marches, more phone calls, calling your senator. And you got to tell them, you're not getting re-elected if you do not support Medicare for All. All right. Thank everybody for coming out.
Yes!
Support Nina Turner!
There we go. Thank you for indulging my little... Oops, let me just slide out.
Thanks, guys.
Anybody who want to keep this sign, you can keep it.
All right, everybody, real quick. I'm live streaming. Just say hello to everybody watching my live stream. Aloha! Thank you, everybody. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.